between Atlanta and Los Angeles and the film and entertainment industry progressing and developing?
Ah, that's a great question. Okay, what I see happening already, and part of that is because of Tyler Perry having a studio in Atlanta, but I'm already seeing a sort of a migration of a lot of filmmakers who are coming to Atlanta because they've discovered that it not only has facilities and all the opportunities there and incentives and all of that, but they're also seeing that the city itself is welcoming to the entertainment community, and that's usually what they need to feel. You have to feel that, because if you don't, then you're going to lose the people once they get there and they find out, oh, the businesses don't want to cooperate, or don't want us in their community, and the community doesn't want you there, and those are the things that will hamper any sort of relationship. But I think that with LA being like it is, where this is the entertainment capital, I think for a lot of people who can't get here, or can't afford to live here or whatever, they're going to find that Atlanta is going to be the new Hollywood.
And do you find that Los Angeles are excited about the opportunities that Atlanta provides, or is there a little bit of sour grapes that's taking away from the industry dollars here?
Yeah, they do. There is still that a little bit of animosity there, of saying, especially as a producer, I feel it when I tell someone I'm working on a project and it's in another city, or another state or whatever. You're going to get some of that. You're going to get people saying, well, why didn't you do it here in LA? But I think that the reality is, unless LA becomes more film friendly, you're going to have people going to Atlanta. Because, well, a couple of reasons. One is that Atlanta has positioned itself so that it's attractive to people to come there. Once people find out, yeah, the community wants us, the business owners, and the politicians are interested in offering us opportunities there. Once they see that the city is holding its arms out, and saying, come on down, then you're going to get that. You're going to get people moving. And I think with LA, there's almost like that love-hate relationship that we have with Canada. A lot of our shows are shot in Canada. A lot of filmmakers go there to make their movies and stuff like that. And I think there's no way to stop it. There's no way to make people say, oh, no, I'm not going to shoot there. I'm going to only shoot in LA, because LA is so expensive to shoot here. Now, you do have, of course, a larger pool of actors and crew to choose from by being here. But what I'm finding is that Atlanta is getting very well organized, which is the key, which is that if I'm as a producer, if I can come in there and I can go to one place, go to the film office or the film commission and get what I need and get their support and have them say, yeah, we got vendors, here's a list of vendors, and here are people that can help you, with your production. And, this is where you can go to get extras and, work as background actors or whatever. As long as that's happening, that's going to be attractive to filmmakers.
Right. And of course, the tax credit
yes,
is a huge
the tax incentive is a big thing. And unless LA becomes competitive in that area, there are going to always be opportunities for other states to get our business, because we, especially as producers, our bottom line is the money, the budget. So we have no option but to make sure that we're getting the best deal.
This is Valerio Esposito for Georgia Hollywood Review TV from the Oscar week. Thank you so much, Dorez, for
Thank you.
being with us. It's a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Here in Los Angeles, Georgia Hollywood Review TV is the Oscar weekend, and we are here with two-time Oscar winner Willie Burton. Welcome. So tell us about this great experience. The first one for Birth, second Dream Girl.
I was very fortunate to work on this movie, Bird, directed by Clint Eastwood, the Charlie Parker story. And it's always like a privilege when you get the call that, that the director wants you on this film. And that was great. And I thought, oh, what a great experience for me. It would be good for me, and what a great project to work on. So I started prepping this project, and I knew it would be a lot of music. I knew some of the music would be live and some would be playback. And it was also a great experience to work with Clint. Clint has a way of working where that he works very fast and he's thorough and he's to the point. He knows what he wants right away, and you don't have to waste time. I mean, we worked 8-hour days and we were done, sometimes 6-hour days. But also the sound on the movie I thought was quite good, but you never know. You do the best job you possibly can. And of course, it worked out. In the end, I received a nomination for Bird for the Academy Award. And and so when you receive a nomination, you get a chance to go attend the Oscars. And so you never think you're going to win an Oscar because you really don't know. You just work hard. You work hard and you do the best you can. So sitting there in the auditorium, waiting to call out who was going to win for best sound, and of course the name came Bird, and my wife and I were just sitting there and we were having a good time, just laughing and talking, having a good time, enjoying the show, and she elbowed me and says, "That's you, Bird. You got to get up. You got to go." And I said, "I got to go." So you jump up. I jumped up and I went up on the stage, and then I started thinking in my mind. The only thing that was going through my mind is that this is a mistake. I know I didn't win this. My whole thing was that they'll just take it back when I get backstage. When I go backstage, they're going to take this away from me. And I was excited and I was nervous at the same time. And of course, once you go backstage, there's more interviews and everything, and I realized, okay, I did really win an Oscar. And also people that night wanted to hold my Oscar, and I didn't want them to hold it because it's heavy. It's very heavy, and you think that they're going to drop it and break it. And I didn't want my Oscar to be broken. So, and when they I would give them my Oscars to hold, I held on to it with my hand also to make sure it didn't drop. So, but it was an experience. That was a good experience. And then just to jump ahead later on, I mean. And also, musicals are really good for sound. I mean, I'm a sound mixer by trade, and I love working on musicals. And I was very fortunate enough to work on the film Dreamgirls. Another privilege and a blessing to be hired for Dreamgirls. And also a very involved movie, another great story, just about people in their life and how the girls, the actors, how they got to where they were today. I mean, and so, and once again, you work hard, and I had a great experience on that film with the cast and the crew, and also got nominated again. And the second time, you get nominated, you think, well, okay, I'm nominated, so I'm probably not going to win. I'll just go to the Oscars, and it'll be fine. I'll just have a good time, And always, my wife and I, we just, because, you don't want to be nervous and all of that, so... Even though you get, you get nervous, but we were sitting in the auditorium there, and once again, they call out the name of Dreamgirls, and you think, oh my God! I mean, again, how could this be happening to me? What did I do to deserve all of this? But it's a privilege and a blessing to be able to work on some great films, and with great stories and great people. And it's exciting, and I'm excited to be here telling you about that today.
You got nominated for Emmy with Roots, right?
Right.
And it was 1977,
right?
If I'm not wrong. Right. And it was so you were basically filming in Georgia before filming in Georgia was actually a thing. Right.
And it was a great experience. I mean, to film in Georgia because. The filming in Roots we were on a slave ship, a sailboat, and bringing the slaves into the country, and it was quite an experience out on the water. Beautiful scenery, and so we were filming, and we were out on this boat, and we just kept sailing and filming and sailing and having a good time, except for the few people that was overboard because they were sick. So, we went so far. I mean, it was like mid-afternoon, and our producer asked the captain, how long is it going to take us to get back into the shore? And he said, if we turn around now, it's about another 12 hours. So I think we got back into the shore about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And everybody was just shocked it was going to take so long. But we were so into filming and so involved in the project that no one thought about how long it takes to turn a sailboat around and get it back into shore. Another film that I did in Georgia, which was Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil with Clint Eastwood. And Clint Eastwood seems to film in Georgia quite a bit over the years. And that was also an experience. We were able to get locations without any real problems. And it was just really great, I mean, to be there. And one of the most important things, besides filming there, that I remember, there was this restaurant. It's like a buffet style. And you go in and sit down as a group, and it's all the food you could eat. And I remember that there was some of the best cooking I ever had. I had such a great time. I mean, just going to the restaurant after hours and go to the restaurant and sit down and eat all this good food. And that's before I got into health, but I ate everything then. But also in like Savannah, Georgia, which is so beautiful, you have all the little all the trees and the little parks you walk through. I remember the parks there. There's a whole bunch of parks and everything, and we filmed all around the parks and all of that. And the film visually looked great because of the scenery and the location.
So you started very early in Georgia, filming,
right?
1977
right.
Till now. What has changed in this time?
Well, in starting out in Georgia in the early days, believe it or not, I think I was only like 11 or 12 years old. I don't really remember, but anyway, I was able to work. Just all jokes aside. But anyway, in the early days in filming in Georgia, Georgia didn't have the crews. They didn't have the crews. They didn't have the trained people. And as time has passed on, later we jump to later now. Georgia has the infrastructure. They have the people. They have the crews. They have the producers. They have the directors. They have trained technicians and everything that it's different, and that's why so many films are filming in Georgia, and TV shows, and that's why Tyler Perry's there, because you can get the crews that you need now. And prior to that, there was no such thing. We brought most of our crew people from Los Angeles.
Segment between us, since I didn't talk to you before. So
yes.
The paper boy, I got the hook.
I got the
hookup too.
Yes.
So wait,
okay.
did you actually film?
Yes.
Ever in Georgia somewhere?
You know what? Let me tell you about filming in Georgia. Interesting that you asked. So, back in 2012, let me just share this. I was actually cast for The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Yes, and that is the one thing I realized. Everybody goes to the internet. They want to know something about you. They're going to go to Google. And that's the first thing that you see. And the reality is that I walked away from that project. And not, to each his own. But for me, I was in the middle of filming a show on Lifetime at the time, which was a series. And I just knew that it was not the right fit for me. And that was okay. So I moved on from that because I am an actress and I wanted to make certain that that people took me serious and not saw me as what is pegged to be a reality TV star. So that was my decision. Not that it doesn't work for the next person, but I did, like I said, so that's my tie into Atlanta, of course, which I love Atlanta. But The Paperboy, that was actually a great film. Director Lee Daniels, who is, of course, the director for Empire and the show star that actually shoots in Atlanta. I was cast for that film, and it was kind of interesting because I got an opportunity to work with Nicole Kidman, Matthew McConaughey, who doesn't know he's my husband yet, and
that's interesting. Let's share with
and Zac Efron.
Let's put the news out.
Matthew, no, I mean, he was probably the most, I would say, another humble guy that I met, in film, but. So that was a great project. That was actually a good project.
Congratulations. Engagement.
You're so funny. Thank you. That's a good thing. But well, I'll have to talk to Matthew about that. We'll talk later, Matthew.
Yeah, we'll talk.
So with that being
He's calling me.
He's calling you. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. You're so funny. But no, so that was a great project for me, which was filmed in New Orleans actually.
Mm-hmm.
So and then of course now I got the hookup too. That was my first comedy. It was in theaters and limited theaters last year, July of last year, and that was Master P from New Orleans. And everybody knows Master P just from the music industry. But I also get people that ask me, well, did Master P just put you in the film because you both are from New Orleans? Well, I had never met Master P prior to the film. I flew in here to Los Angeles. I auditioned just like anyone else would. And, Miss Porche just had what it took to become Miss Charletta in the film. So it was my first time really being able to show the world that I had this comedic side of me. I loved that film, and again, I'm always up for challenges to show the world what I can do. Yes.
You were a singer on Paperboy. Are you
I
a
was
singer for real?
I am a singer for real. Isn't that something?
Oh, that's definitely something. You want to a little bit?
Oh my gosh!
Something?
Are you really gonna put me on the spot like that?
Well, that's part of my job. Here,
Oh, you know what? How about, let's see, I can do something like, maybe I'll do this. I'm gonna change it up for you.
Sure.
Here we go. Ave Maria, gracia plena, Maria, gracia plena, Maria, gracia plena. Just a little something. Just a little something from my Catholic school upbringing.
I'll make sure your future husband Matthew receive this.
Well,
this
let me tell
video.
you. Okay, so
Yeah.
just make sure that Matthew's on the same page with me, okay?
Oh, I'm sure he is.
Oh my gosh, you put me
Thank
on the
you,
spot.
Nicole.
You owe me
Thank-
for that one, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I
Thank
love
you,
it.
Nicole.
Thank you. Thank you so
I
much.
do.
Wow.
The entertainment capital of the world is Los Angeles, California. Movies, TV shows, this is Hollywood, right? But the nice thing about Atlanta, Georgia is that in the past few years, the entertainment industry has risen there. I think Tyler Perry probably was one of the biggest factors of why Atlanta, Georgia became a place to go and film, and Tyler just bought a bigger movie studio out there, which now Ozzy, who used to be the president of Tyler Perry's, he bought Tyler's old studio, named it the Aru Brothers Studio. So it's another opportunity, because I know Ozzy is very passionate about giving Latinos and other diverse voices and women opportunities to tell their stories. So it's a beautiful thing that there's 2 movie studios that are doing that. But aside from that, I know a lot of productions from Hollywood film there in Atlanta, Georgia as well. A lot of the talent does come from Los Angeles over there. They have a lot of local talent as well. But Atlanta has become an entertainment place to be. So this is why it was so important for us to go out there and to kind of get these storytellers and give them opportunities to tell their stories.
Right. And talking about, the presence and this great achievement that you have, you were telling me that you have projects that are Oscar contenders.
Yeah. So last year we won a Student Academy Award, a Student Emmy, Directors Guild Award. We did pretty well with this short film narrative called Esta es tu Cuba. This is your Cuba. The filmmakers are Chapman University grad student at that time. That was their thesis film. They brought me on board. I became the executive producer of the film, and we shot it in Puerto Rico. We made Puerto Rico look like 1960s Cuba. It's a beautiful film, visually, but also a beautiful story based on a true story, the Pedro Pan story, the Peter Pan story. The director's father was a Peter Pan kid. And it did very well throughout the year. We became Oscar contenders for last year because we won the Student Academy Award. And throughout the years, we went to a lot of film festivals. We went to Cannes. We won at pretty much the majority of the film festivals. So it was quite a ride. I was literally traveling every month, and I was at a new film festival every month. So there was a lot of traveling, but it was really nice. It was a very nice experience. And then in the summer of last year, I had another movie that premiered with LALIFF, Los Angeles Latino International Film Festival. And the beautiful thing about it premiering there is that we got to walk the red carpet as a Latino community in front of the Chinese Grauman's Theater, where like a week before Quentin Tarantino was doing his premiere there with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which was really cool too, because when we were at Cannes, we screened the same day as Quentin Tarantino and as the director of Parasite. Well, Parasite and Once Upon a Time screened the same day as we did. So that was really cool with Ese es tu Cuba. But The Brave Shall Rise, which is the documentary, we premiered it there at LALIFF, and we've started our run. It's already won a couple of awards. It became an Oscar contender for today's Oscars, right? And last night, actually, just how the universe comes together. It was at the Tally Film Festival, which takes place in Tallahassee, Florida, which is very important. We won the Audience Award there. And it's very important that it happened in Florida and Tallahassee, because this movie is a documentary shot after the Parkland shootings. And it's about a stay-at-home Latina mom that decides to run for office in order to change the gun reform laws. So it's a very powerful documentary, but it's very inspiring. It inspires people to take action. That's the beautiful thing about the documentary.
Great. That's great.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about the future? Like, you already told us a lot, but like, what is your dream project? Well, would you?
Well, I'm going to continue for sure producing. I've become very passionate with the whole Latino Filmmakers Network. I'm very passionate about diverse voices, producing for filmmakers that I believe in, that I think are very talented. I will definitely continue doing that. But I am also a filmmaker myself. I'm a writer-director. My stuff is more in the dark comedy side. And I am working currently also on my own project. And I have done several films before on my own as well. So continue with the activism and the pushing, for a more diverse, inclusive Hollywood, which is what's very important, because we want our stories to reflect what the world looks like. We want the talent to reflect what the world looks like, and continuing to produce stories that I believe in, made by filmmakers that are very talented. But at the same time, I'm a very creative person, continue to write and direct my fun stories that deal with social issues and are very character driven.
Do you already know where your story happened? Like, they will be set in Los Angeles. You might come to Georgia, like, since you.
Hey, I wouldn't mind filming out there. I hear good things about filming in Georgia. I'm always looking. Just like when I've shot several films in Puerto Rico. It's always great to know what the film incentives look like in different places. What you, especially as independent filmmakers, where you can get as much as you can for your buck, So I will definitely be looking into filming in Atlanta, Georgia in the future, for sure.
Oscar 2020 weekend.
Wow.
We are here for Georgia Hollywood Review TV with Sherry Rich.
Indeed. Hello.
Hello.
Honored to be here.
Hello. So you are very. They told me, like, we talk about very Los Angeles person, right?
Yeah.
Tell me something about the project that you're most proud of.
Well, right now I am working with Doug DeLuca, is my principal business partner, and he's the producer of Jimmy Kimmel Live, so he's making it go around over there. And we have two projects that I'm very, very excited about. One is called The Dish, and it is an LBGTQ talk show dinner party, and where straights and gays will come together to discuss tolerance and similarities and differences in such a climate of division. So it's The View on steroids, to say the least. There will be a chef that will be cooking, so boom, dish. So I'm very happy about that because it's about bringing cultures together and people that feel that they have differences so that they can find out how we're all so similar. You know, we are. And then there's a dance project, and it is going to, they're predicting it's going to be big like Dancing with the Stars. So we're real excited about that, about to shoot the sizzle. We go into production with the dish next month. And I was saying black is the new green in Hollywood. We all know black film, urban film. And Doug DeLuca corrected me and said, no, Cheryl. Black is the new gold. So I was like, whoa. So I have, and speaking of Georgia, I went to Georgia because there is a school in Georgia, and they're building a studio that will, well, the plan is to become, I don't want to say rival what Tyler Perry has done, but pretty big deal. And I have the female Tyler Perry. Her name is, we call her Tyler Princess. Right. And so she's got a slate of films, Baby Daddy Detective. Need I say more?
Wow. Please.
Yeah. Well, that title alone.
Yeah.
So, Dog Belly. So all I can say to you is that the slate of urban films we have will include all cultures. And yet, budget low, written with location in mind, and you know that the black film now is just it makes a lot of noise. Yeah.
You said something that is very interesting from a production point of view. You said writing with the location in mind, which is very important. I know budget wise and you know. So tell me something more about it. Like, do you think that a lot of things are happening in Georgia right now?
Yes.
So and it's not by chance that it's the second biggest, like,
true,
right now.
It's booming.
So what do you think? Can there be like a
location? Oh yeah, I believe that.
Like specifically, like in Georgia, like do you know the place? Like can it be? Do you think it's really like inspiring place and it can work as well as Los Angeles?
Oh yeah, I just left Georgia because of the school, and they're setting up a studio there, and just the country roads, the space in Georgia that you have to work with. That's why Tyler Perry went to Georgia, and look at what he's created. So I love the energy in Georgia. Energy is like the wind. You don't see it, but you feel it. That's why you'll look at someone and you'll be like, oh, and then someone else will treat you better, but you don't love them. The energy in Georgia it's on fire right now. It's creation. The creators are, because of many things, not just Tyler. It's all kinds of things happening down there. What's the other studio that's in Georgia? Do you know the name of the one studio? It's a few of them.
Black Hall, Aru Brothers, Pinewood.
Yeah, that's the one I heard, Pinewood. So yeah, it's I believe that we are looking at Hollywood in Georgia. It's
a good sentence.
Oh yeah.
It says a lot.
Hollywood and Georgia, no question about it. It's the new territory. And I believe it's going to make a real splash.
So for Georgia Hollywood Review TV, thank you very much to Cheryl Rich. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
We saw inspirational.
Oh.
It was very nice.
I appreciate it.